watched Claude Code find the exact Apple documentation it needed. It surfaced the right page in the session on its own, and then ignored that page and wrote the wrong code anyway. The problem was CloudKit sync, I should say. On Apple's stack, if you're using SwiftData for storage, syncing across devices is largely automatic. You configure the container correctly and it works. Apple built it that way. There is no custom sync layer to write. Claude did not believe that. It kept trying to build me a sync manager. Custom code for something the framework already handles natively. I redirected it, it reverted. I redirected again, it reverted again. Eventually I configured the container myself by hand, following the documentation the tool had already found and set down in front of me, but of course ignored. The AI located the correct answer and then decided the correct answer was optional. I thought about that moment more than any other part of this project. That's from a real app. It's called Svngs Plus. It's live in the App Store right now. And it's a native iOS savings tracker. Swift, SwiftUI, CloudKit sync, in-app purchase, biometric auth, all the native Apple fun. 5 weekends, built with Claude Code as my primary coding partner. So let me be precise about the skeptic part, because that word gets thrown around loosely. I'm not the guy who tells you AI writes garbage. It doesn't, well, for the most part at least. Most of what it handed me was code I would have written myself. I work in fintech, legacy loan origination and servicing platforms, heavy C#, TypeScript, SQL. I know what good looks like. My skepticism is narrower than it's bad, and it's worse. The tool is confidently wrong a meaningful amount of time, and the output looks identical either way. It doesn't hedge when it's guessing. Nothing on the screen tells you which half you're in. Before I wrote a line of code, I made one call, and I think it's the reason the project shipped. I used Claude as a pair programmer, not a full agentic solution. That sounds like a small distinction. It isn't. Going fully agentic means handing over the wheel. Let it run, generate, commit, iterate on its own. Some people swear by it. My read is that's how you end up with a code base that works right up until it catastrophically doesn't. So I reviewed every piece of code it generated in real time. I managed to get workflow myself. I stayed in the driver's seat. Whether the tool got any given thing right was never up to me. What I reviewed, what I let through, and what I threw in the trash was entirely up to me. I decided to spend my effort there. I broke the project into 4 parts before I even touched Xcode. Product definition, what the app does, who it's for, what the real MVP is. User flow, every screen, every interaction, the whole onboarding path mapped before any of it got built. The tech spec, the architecture, the dependencies, the data layer. Build plan, the MVP broke it into phases. The phases broke it into hyper-focused tasks, 1 task per session. I also wrote a CloudMD file that set the ground rules, patterns to follow, where the code lives, what to avoid. I'm not going to walk you through that here. The checklist isn't the point. The point is that all 4 of those things are the thinking, and I did the thinking first. The tool never made a decision that mattered. It executed inside decisions I already made. And inside that structure, it was good, better than I expected. Modern Swift code, SwiftUI best practices were solid. The component structure generated was clean and readable. StoreKit purchase flow, local notifications, biometric auth setup, handled pretty well. Plenty of times I was reading a diff and thinking, yeah, that's pretty good. In its lane, building against well-documented modern frameworks, it was legitimately a good partner. Fast, consistent, and it never complained when I told it to do something over. Out of its lane, it was something else. SwiftData is Apple's modern storage framework. Core data is the older one it's built on. Related, not the same. Claude kept reaching for core data patterns in the SwiftData codebase. I caught it every time because I knew the difference. If I hadn't known the difference, that quietly poisons the codebase and nothing tells you it happened. Then there's the one thing that still bothers me. For in-app purchases, I went with StoreKit directly, but I wanted the option to swap in something else later. The right move in Swift is a protocol the rest of the app talks to, with the implementation injected behind it. Clean, swappable. Claude built the protocol correctly, built the StoreKit class correctly, implementing said protocol. Then injected StoreKit directly throughout the app, straight past the abstraction I just had it finish writing. It did the hard part right and then ignored its own work. Same shape as the CloudKit thing. It had the answer, it didn't follow the answer. I caught it, I fixed the injection, and the app talks to the protocol directly the way it's supposed to. If I hadn't been reviewing in real time, I'd have a code base that works today and becomes a problem the first time I want to change anything later. AI is legitimately a powerful tool in the right hands. And in the right hands is carrying almost the entire sentence. You still have to know what good looks like. You still have to know when to trust the output and when to throw it out. It's a junior developer who's brilliant half of the time and confidently wrong the other half. You wouldn't let that person commit without a review. No reason the roles change because the junior is a model. The 5 weekends were fast because the judgment was already paid for, not by the tool. That's the part worth sitting with, not whether the tool is good. It is good, as long as you're still the one deciding.